Hare Krishna. So here's a question that asks, as we know there are four sampradayas, is anyone who practices within these sampradayas considered a Vaishnava? What about those who do not follow the four regulative principles? Are they still regarded as Vaishnavas? So there are three sections or three parts to this question. We'll try to answer each of them. Firstly, a Vaishnava is a devotee of the Lord. So the first part is about this sampradaya. So here it's mentioned there are four sampradayas. What are sampradayas? Sampradayas are bona fide schools or colleges of spirituality where one can learn loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So there are four sampradayas mentioned in the scriptures or the shastras, and these sampradaya heads are Shri Sampradaya, which is Lakshmi Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, which is coming from Lord Brahma, Rudra Sampradaya, which is coming through Lord Shiva, and the four Kumara Sampradaya, the Chatus Kumaras. So these four initial schools or big colleges of spirituality, as they go down through their disciplic succession, they further branch out. So what we know as the four sampradayas may today exist in 400 or 4,000 different institutes or sampradayas or schools or lineages or belongings. So still they are part of the four sampradayas. So these are mentioned. Shastra says that anyone who wants to learn bhakti has to be part of this four sampradayas. Now, having said that, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who's one of the acharyas, one of the main teachers in our sampradaya, and our sampradaya is called Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, coming through Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has mentioned that actually Vaishnavism is a default setting of the jiva. He calls it Jaiva Dharma. Vaishnavism, to love and serve and worship Lord in a loving way, is a default setting of the jiva. So in that sense, every jiva is actually a Vaishnava. So he also mentions that you may find someone who is not officially in the four sampradayas, but they still have the Vaishnava mood or the Vaishnava emotions. So it is there, it is possible. It is rare because through the schools we develop this understanding of spirituality, but it's still possible. It is just like in today's age, you'll find someone who has never had any formal education, but still very, very well learned, well informed, well read. Of course, it's rare, but it's possible. So that is about the four sampradayas. Now, another question in this asks or talks about the four regulative principles. What are the four regulative principles? The four regulative principles are no meat eating, fish, eggs, mushrooms, because they all fall in a tamasic or ignorance category. No intoxication, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, vape. No illicit sex, so sexual relations only with one's lawfully wedded partner. No gambling or any kind of speculative games which create anxiety, risk, and unwanted losses. These are the four regulative principles. Now, again, these four regulative principles are basic human life. By following them does not make one a very, it doesn't mean that one is a very big, advanced, great yogi or spiritual person, guru. But these are basic principles that humans, if one wants to be called a human, should follow. So they help one to reach sattva gun or mode of goodness where one can understand spiritual subject matters even much better. So that is about the four regular principles. Now the question here is someone is part of this sampradaya, following, practicing, they are a Vaishnava, but may not follow the four regular principles. So can we still call them as Vaishnavas? So we have to understand that there may be various levels of practicing devotees of Vaishnavas. There may be various kinds. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or the Nectar of Devotion, which is written by Srila Rupa Goswami, he mentions that devotees itself can be categorized, devotees of Vaishnavas themselves can be categorized into three main categories. You have the Kanishta, the neophyte, the budding devotee. And this person may pick a fight, may argue, may not follow very well, not very shastric, not very scripturally inclined, but he's still a devotee practicing. Second, there'll be a Madhyama, who's a little more polished devotee. And the topmost is a Uttama. Uttama devotee is one who's very polished. So, like this, we see that there are various flavors even in practicing devotees. Now, in addition to that, Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that if a devotee is not careful in their practice of pure devotional service, only wanting to please the Lord, then their devotion, their practice of devotion could be mixed. So, therefore, they are called mixed Vaishnavas, right? Mishra Bhakta. This is, for example, if a person is practicing bhakti but in a more of a mode of a goodness type. So they will practice bhakti out of a duty. It is my duty to worship the Lord. Or they'll practice bhakti to destroy their karmas. I want to just get rid of, instead of pleasing the Lord, they're thinking that let me just destroy my karmas so I won't suffer. Or they'll think about let me practice bhakti to get liberation. And someone who's a little more in passion, a devotion, a Vaishnava nonetheless, but he's a little more in the mode of passion, they would practice bhakti with the desire for name, fame, wealth. And someone who's a devotee, a practicing Vaishnava, who is in the mode of ignorance, they may practice bhakti with hate, malice, trying to harm and destroy others. Or they may just practice bhakti to show off. Right? So, in today's society, you will find many kinds of devotees, many kinds of Vaishnavas. Again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Vaishnava is a default setting. So, every jiva, every living being is actually Vaishnava. But you may find practicing devotees who are part of the sampradaya, who have admitted themselves in the schools of bhakti, but maybe some of them drink tea. Like they ask other Vaishnavas we see from different sampradayas also who drink tea, and maybe there are people who watch mundane movies still or hear mundane songs, this and that. There are people who eat outside non-prasad food. So like this, they are just different practitioners struggling at various different levels. Should we consider them Vaishnava? Yes, why not? So we don't know specifically who is what on which level. Are they Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama? Are they goodness, passion, ignorance? We're not considering all this. The best bet is for us to respect everyone, respect all living beings, all practitioners, and we know who are more well situated and advanced, and we'll try to take their association. But most importantly is that we focus on our own practice. Now, after having heard all this, we kind of have a roadmap how to actually improve our lives so that we can try to become a Vaishnava in the actual true sense. So let us focus on improving our own bhakti, of focusing on pure devotional service, and that we don't fall into all these other so-called shades of devotion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.